All right, hi, on 4. Hi. Okay. So this first lesson is on writing inequalities from a graph. And the first part we've already done, but just to get it back in your head as we tie it into the second part of writing inequalities. So first of all, if I give you a number line graph that looks like this, that's given to you, and I ask you to write the inequality that goes with that, okay? The inequality that goes with that is horizontal, so we're going to use x, so it will be x is greater than 5. Do I go with that? Yes? Okay. We could also do interval notation, but I'm not going to pull with that for right now. Okay, I gave you this one. Given this graph, the inequality that goes with that graph is x is less than or equal to -4. Yes? You look at vertical lines also. Okay? If I gave you this vertical number line, instead of using x, we would use y. Okay? And this has got that split in the middle. So in order to write the answer to this, we have to use something to separate the two pieces. We're going to try to do the bottom piece first. X is less than, nope, wrong. Y is less than or equal to 3. The word or, and then y is greater than or equal to 10. This word has to be there. You can't do that. Okay. See if I remember the symbol you can use instead of the word or. Oh, good. Yes. Everything you do like this. That's all for it. All right. And another vertical one, just to remember. Well, we already know about writing inequalities from graphs. That's a between statement. So when you write this one, you want to write the smallest number first, -10, is less than y, is less than the largest number. You can also write it the other way around. You can start with the biggest one, as long as you turn those inequalities in the opposite direction. And just a reminder that when you're doing between statements, those two inequalities have to be facing the same direction. They can never be pointed. You can never write them pointed this way or pointed out from each other. That'll never work. Okay? So are we good with this? All right. We're going to now expand that to doing linear inequalities. And I'm going to do it from sketches. I'm not going to give you graph paper, but on the worksheet that you have, some of it's on actual graph paper so that you can actually count the slope and find the points on the graph paper. But I'm just going to do it from sketches. Okay? It's kind of important that you be able to do really good, precise graphs on graph paper, and it's also important that you be able to do a reasonable sketch. Right? This is the x-axis, and this is the y-axis. I'm going to draw this as my line right here, just a sketch. I'm going to label the x-intercept, and I'm going to label the y-intercept, and I'm going to shade above it. This is given to you. If this were on a piece of paper and I handed it to you and said, write an inequality that goes with that picture. Now, what we did before is I gave you the inequality and you drew the picture. Now I'm going to give you the picture and you're going to write the inequality. Okay? And the first thing to do is just write the equation in the line. Just ignore the inequality. Don't pay any attention to it. Okay? So how do you write the equation for a line? You need the slope. Okay? You need the slope of this line. There's a couple ways to find the slope of this line. Well, from here to here, you can do rise over run straight from the sketch, or if you have graph paper. What's the rise? Right there. 3. What's the run? 2. And this slope is positive or negative? Positive. So my slope is 3 over 2. Now, if you don't like that, there's always a few people who don't like counting slope, then you could go and write the two coordinates down, like this, with the x and y intercept, and then use the slope formula, and you get the same thing. Okay? Either one of those things will work. All right, you need the slope, and you need some point, and the point I'm going to pick, because it's easy, is the y-intercept right here. Yes, so what's the y-intercept? 3. And I don't have to do point slope form. When I have slope and y-intercept, I can go straight to the equation, y equals 3 halves x plus 3. There's the equation for the line. You could also do point slope form if you like that better. Okay? Everybody got it? All right. Once you get the line, now you have to translate it into the inequality. All right. So when I gave you an inequality, what made you shade up above it? What was the part of the inequality? Yes.
The sign is facing the vertical.
What's the sign called? What are the words that go with that sign? Anybody else? Left with there.
Y is greater than.
Is greater than, okay? So it's got to be facing in the right direction. Is greater than means above, okay? And because the line is a solid line, then you need to put the equal on it. That's all there is to it, okay? Not very hard, right? As long as you can get that equation written, you should be able to get the inequality written. Let's try another one. Again, this would be given to you, this picture given to you, either on a piece of, a sketch like this, or on a piece of graph paper. Okay? And you need to write the inequality. But first, you write the equation. Get the equation for the line first. Okay? Again, I like it if you could just get the slope off the graph. That's really nice. What's that rise right there? 3. What's that run? 1. Everybody see that? And the slope of this line is positive or negative? Negative. So you have to put the slope is negative 3 over 1, which is negative 3. Everybody see? Do I have the y-intercept again? Yes, I have the y-intercept. If you've got the y-intercept, pick it because it makes your life easier. All right? And then you can write your equation, y equals negative 3x plus 3. That's the equation for the line. And then you simply need to make the adjustment that shows me that you know that this is not a line, it is a whole region, a whole space of things. All right, this time it is dotted, so if it's going to be dotted, there will be no equals on it. And it is below, so if it's below, instead of greater than, it will be less than. There's your equal. Easy enough? Okay. Now, the one that messes people up most often is when the y-intercept is not immediately visible or available for some reason or another. So I could draw this on a piece of graph paper, or I can give it to you as a sketch. You remember on the graph paper sometimes you couldn't tell exactly what the y-intercept was because it was in between two numbers. You would have had to estimate it, which is a good skill, but we're not using it right now. So you had to find 2 other points. So I'm going to give you these 2 points. If you can't read the y-intercept, then you're going to need to use probably the point slope form. But first, you need to find the slope. If you're on a piece of graph paper, you can count the rise and the run. If you're not on a piece of graph paper, then let's just remember the slope formula. I'll start with this one. 10 minus what?
Minus 2, so it's 10 plus 2.
Minus negative 2, so it's plus 2. Very good. 10 minus a negative 2. And then I have to do it in the same order, so 4 minus 1. And that gives me 12 over 3, which is a slope of 4. Always a good idea when you use the slope formula, you have a picture to double check that you got the right sign on the answer. Okay? Just make sure you got the right sign. Now, I do not have the y-intercept, so I'm going to have to use a different formula, and I'm going to use the point slope form because that's my favorite. This one, the one else likes quiz. And which point do you use? Yeah, it doesn't matter. I tend to use the one with all positive numbers. If I had a choice, I'll pick the one with all positive numbers. So this will be y minus 10 equals 4 times x minus 4. Agreed? And then usually we will go and put it into the slope-intercept form. We'll distribute property, add 10 to both sides, and y equals 4x minus 6. It's nice to kind of just look at this is not a very good picture, but at least I know that this y-intercept is below negative 2, so negative 6 makes sense, yes? And if I had a good graph, then I might just tell for sure what that was gonna be. All right, now I need to, whoops, I forgot to shade it. If I had shaded this below, which I forgot to do at the beginning, then the only thing you have left to do to fix this is to put the correct inequality in there. It's gonna be is less than or is gonna be is greater than? It's less than, does it have equals on it or not? Yes, it does. Easy, easy? Okay? All right, now, the only thing I haven't done here, and I'm gonna do these two pretty quickly, are look at my favorite things. Horizontal and vertical lines. When you are drawing horizontal and vertical lines, it's really important that you label the x and y axis. Okay? It doesn't matter so much when you're drawing lines that are slanted, that have positive and negative slopes, but when you're drawing horizontal and vertical lines, please label the x and y axis. It will keep lots of people from getting confused. These are so fast and so easy because this is not about being able to crunch through a process. This is just about knowing stuff. Okay? I know the equation for a horizontal line, although I sometimes get it mixed up with the equation for a vertical. Okay? Equation for a horizontal line is always starts with what? Y equals y. That's the line. Okay? And then you simply need to adjust it to show the inequality. Okay, instead of equals, it's going to be less than. Is it going to have the equals on it or not? No, y is less than 5, and this is the answer to that. So this one's really quick and easy. Okay, vertical lines always start with x equals what? -2, and then you need to adjust it to make it the inequality, and it will be is greater than, has equals on it because it's a solid line, and there you go. May I have any questions? Okay, so now you'll be able to complete the worksheet on writing inequalities or writing inequalities.